Some say as long as there's a tag saying made in China, the bag can never be luxury. However, in fact, more than 80% of the luxury bags in the world are made in China. But those luxury brands just won't acknowledge that. They take almost finished bags from China factories back to their own factories and just do the repackaging and logo installing, something like that. That way, the bags will appear at their boutiques as made in Italy or made in France. You know, those sophisticated European countries, which make you feel mysterious, royal, and thus luxury. Now, close your eyes. Let's just do a little, very easy experiment in your head, okay? Imagine that you have an Hermes bag, and suddenly the label on it changed from made in France into made in China, while everything else, like leathers, zippers, and hardware, remain the same. Do you suddenly feel that your bag is not as luxury as before? If you do, that means you have been misled and poisoned by the market campaign of those luxury brands for too long. Welcome to the real world. Now you see, those bags are made in China by our intelligent and diligent Chinese artisans. Let's not be poisoned and misled by the market campaign any longer and be a real person. Buy a bag from us, from our factory in China. See the real world for yourself.
They rob you blind and you thank them for it. That's a tragedy. That's a scam. That's why I'm saying this right now. Americans, you don't need a tariff. You need a revolution. For decades, your government and oligarchs only ship your job to China. Not for diplomacy, not for peace, but to exploit cheap laborers. And in the process, they hollowed out your middle class, crushed your working class, and told you to be proud while they sold your future for profit. And yes, China made money, but we used it to build roads, lift millions out of poverty, fund healthcare, raise living standard. We reinvested in our people. My family also benefited from it. What did your oligarchs do? They bought yachts, private jets, mansions with golf course driveways. They manipulate the market, dodge tax, and poured billions into endless wars. And you get stagnant wages, crippling healthcare costs, cheap dopamine, debt, and flagged wave property made in China while they pick your pocket. For 40 years, both China and the United States benefit from the trade, the manufacturing, but only one of us use that wealth to build. This isn't China's fault. This is yours. You let this happen. You let the oligarchs feed you lies while they made you fat, poor, and addicted. Now they blame China for mess they made. I don't think so. I don't think you need another tariff. You need to wake up. You need to take your country back. I think you need a revolution.
Shalom. First off, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakadash. I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, that rule well and teach well. And salutations to all the Akim, this person's truth, and all honesty and sincerity, across the four corners of earth. Shalom. This is Brother Ramla coming at you with a quick video through the spirit, power, and mercy of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. There you see I got some clips at the beginning of this video, and I'm mainly going to title this video the Vintage Sharfale. All right, so as you know, mainly these women, the main ones that get finessed off the retail, you know, buying, you know, Prada, Birkin bags, all these different things. Men get finessed as well, but China is exposing the market. You know how coming up, Jake would say, oh, a lot of things, you know, fake. There are fake brands out here. But, you know, if it's using the same materials, how can you say it's fake? You know, just because it wasn't stamped by Esau, you know, showing you that he got the power, the domain, rulership over the earth. Because whatever this devil say or deem as good product, you know, us in the West would deem it as so. But that can't, that's not the case because everything, a lot of our products, considering, luxury products, clothing, all that, come from them, all right, for cheap labor and all these things. There's something that's been known for years, but now they're coming out with it. So now that veil is coming off of this place, Babylon is getting exposed for the liars and the hypocrites that they are. All right, so this Isaiah chapter 32, verse 9 says, "Rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech." All right, so, hey, the women, all right, are at ease. All right, but we know in the grand scheme of the whole chapter, speaking about Israel, but, as scripture, we know the scriptures are devil-fold, multifold, multi-layered. So, these women about to feel the crunch, man, because women the main ones that get finessed are here in Babylon the Great. That's why, they infiltrate the marriage structure, or where they kick the man out the house, because the man going to pretty much, not spend money on stuff like this, like, vintage stuff, all right, or, save money altogether. But now you women about to have to go to the lesser brands anyway, which, a lot of them so prideful they don't want to downgrade. That's the woman's biggest flaw. Once they get to a certain point, they do not want to downgrade. All right, verse 10, it says, "Many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women, for the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come." All right, so Babylon gonna fail, the vintage gonna fail, everything gonna fail. All right, these goods gonna get to such a high level that you're gonna be forced to downgrade. You're gonna be forced to lower your standard on living, man. And a lot of these women have trouble doing that. But as men, all right, we're natural adapters, all right, to the economy and things, so forth. Majority of us men, especially us on the bottom of the tunnel pole, we learn to make do with what we have. All right, so it's going to be kind of an easy adjustment for most of us men. But these women going to have a hard time when the vintage shall fail. All right, what you going to, like, the winery, all these different things. But it can go into all things. All right, go into the clothing industry. Everything going to be affected by these tariffs, man. Hey, consumer goods, food, all these different things. Hey, electronics going to go back up. They're talking about the PS5 going to go up in cost. The Switch 2, which, is minute because, you ain't going to put a game system over your belly, man. All right. So, all this is showing you that, America basically is powerful and set in their ways. They don't want to submit to the other countries, which they don't ask for much, man. Like one of the videos, man, America brought this on themselves, man. But it's all through the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, so this place can fall, man. All right? So verse 11, "Tremble ye women that are at ease, be troubled ye careless ones." So it says complacency. The Lord going to throw off your complacency. So, Israel is complacency as a whole here in Babylon the Great. All right, but mainly you women, man. That's why we go into this, because we mainly get on you women. But, as I said, just speaking of Israel as a whole, but, women make up majority of our nation, because more women than men. So, and women are the most docile here in Babylon the Great. They the most finesse. All right. That's why I call Babylon the land of the finesse, man. Because the devil sure know how to break your pockets, man. All right, so tremble you women that are at ease, be troubled you careless ones, strip you and make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins. So you're going to have to downgrade for lack of better terms. All right, that's how you're going to be humble. You got to downgrade, you got to clothed up, get this skanky clothing off. All right, you got to submit to a man, Isaiah 4:1, which I may get this before I close out. So you're going to have to share your man. All right, you got to share your man, man. You woman. All right, so if you're not willing to share your man, you're going to be out the door. You're going to be replaced. All right, simple as that. So strip you and make you bare and gird sackcloth upon your loins, man. So as a form of you downgrading, all right, to show your grief. All right, because women gonna be grievous when they have to downgrade when hyperinflation set in. All right, when the loaf of bread will cost a day's wage. No, which majority of us people get paid like roughly $150 a day. So imagine you going to the store and the loaf of bread is $150. All right, people gonna lose your shits, man. All right. So they shall lament for the teats, for the pleasant fields, for the fruitful vine. So y'all will lament for it, man. Hey, the scripture say the storehouse is gonna be shut. All right. You know, so the vintage gonna fail. These places ain't gonna be able to make the money. All right, because when this food go up, ain't nobody gonna be buying this high price ass clothes that you getting ripped off on, man. All right, you getting ripped off, you know. And Jake's so stupid, they'll say, oh, the cheaper brand is the fake brand. That's what they want you niggas to think. All right, the fake brand is the cheap brand because all about money for this devil. You know, it costs way less for them to make the product. All right, so I'm trying to tie this in to go hand in hand with, people gonna see that, they getting duped. All right, and this food gonna go up, and people gonna put the food over the bread. You know, instead of paying top dollar for this bullshit ass clothing at the end of the day, the Esau put in circulation or this apparel, and you're gonna buy this high ass food. All right, because you gotta fill your belly. But all in all, the vintage gonna fail, Babylon gonna fail, and this place is done, man. All right.
With the shoes and all the clothes, it's $38,971.85. Thank you.
So trying to grab all the bags. Right.
Thank you.
Total was 30,000. 2 bags. Thank you. 2 Berkeys.
What did you get? Can we check them out? Do it.
Unboxing.
Wow, how much are those?
Oh no.
Where are you gonna wear them?
His wedding.
Oh no way.
Next year.
Love designer. What did you get?
A bag.
Can we check it out?
Where are you gonna tag me?
We'll
I have
see.
followers on TikTok.
We'll see.
I got the yellow.
Oh, it's yellow. How much is that?
18.
Where are you gonna wear that to?
For travel.
Where are you traveling to?
I'm gonna be traveling to different countries.
How much was that?
16.
Where are you gonna wear that to?
Good question. Every day.
Excuse me? I love designer. What did you get? Yeah, what did you get? Oh, what is that? How much is that?
Said in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. So in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man. Women gonna say they're gonna take care of themselves. Ain't gonna be no more, oh, buy her this, buy her that. Or take her out on this date, take her out here, to please the woman. All right, nah, man, they don't have to appease the man. All right, they gonna want to be called by our name to take away their reproach. All right, and they're gonna be women with no children. We ain't taking in women with no baggage, none of that, man. Lord willing, man. All right. So yeah, man. So I also wanted to get in Revelation. I forgot what it was. What is the Revelation? Let me see. That go. All right, here you go. All right, so this Revelation chapter 6, verse 6, and I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny. And see thou hurt not the oil and the wine. All right. So, you know, food gonna go up, man. A measure of a penny, or a measure of wheat, slakia, all right, and 3 measures of barley for a penny. So it's gonna be a day wage to get bread, to get food. All right. Because when you mainly think of food, you think of bread, because bread is in damn near everything. All right, you use bread for damn near everything. All right, so this food gonna go up. And it says, don't waste the olive oil and wine. So, you know, so hey, you're gonna try not, you know, to use all the wine and oil, because it's gonna be scarce. You know, that's a precious thing. And you cook with oil and you drink wine to be merry, but through the Spirit, you know, it says, see thou hurt not the oil and wine. The true oil and wine is the elect, man. All right. So the Lord say He's gonna make us more precious gold. We're gonna be preserved. So we're gonna be preserved during this time. All right. The Lord gonna make sure we fed, make sure we eat. Yeah, so we won't have a thirst of water and not go hungry. So the Lord gonna make sure we good. All right. You know, so we ain't gonna have to be fighting for scraps, all right, and all these different things. All right, the Lord gonna protect His men. All right, so the Lord willing is edifying. And with that being said, shalom.